Hello and welcome to Herald TV News Bulletin with me, Conal Rosario. Goa's coastline and nearby areas are under serious attack with new regimes such as the Mormugao Port Authority and the CZMP itself. Under such circumstances, people have more faith in courts since politicians have failed to take up these issues. With the assault on the coast allegedly planned by the state itself, the coast no longer belongs to the people anymore. These and other related issues were discussed at the Point Counterpoint debate on Herald TV and YouTube, which premieres Saturday night at 9:30 p.m.
Goa's coastline and nearby areas are under serious attack, with Mormugao Port Authority and the CZMP regimes. Under such circumstances, people have more faith in the courts, since politicians have failed to take up these issues. Finally, it is the activists who are fighting hard to save the coast.
When you spoke about the government trying to, give excuses, it took my memory back to the CZMP public hearings that happened, if you remember. How we were called to Kala Academy and Ravindra Bhavan in the south, and the officials were just sitting mum at the, on the stage. And then they organized it again at Kampal, and nobody spoke to us. It was supposed to be a public hearing. We spoke and we went back home. And this is the same silly, stupid attitude which they carry on. The good part is that we have active citizens like us who are here, and a lot of other people in Goa who finally meet these government officials in courts. And that is where justice has been seen in many of these cases. Where justice has knocked down these lies, have knocked down these hidden agendas of this government, and that is where we still continue to hold our hope and our faith in the courts. Basically, this fight had started almost 2 years back when the CZMP was being drafted, and the issue then was that this was still in its bill stage. And though it was in the bill stage, it was already depicted in the CZMP. And that was the fight. Because we were trying to get this entire bill thrown out from the parliament, hoping that the MPs would have spoken and got this challenged and got it out. And so we didn't want that depiction to happen in the CZMP, because if the bill got challenged and was thrown out, it would be unnecessarily showing on the CZMP map.
Right.
It created confusion. So this was our thing, to get it out from the map and get it out from Goa itself, this entire act. Unfortunately, it turned out into an act, but the depiction has been removed from the CZMP. And I think this is an absolute eyewash to the people of Goa.
Because the CZMP plan clearly depicted the port limits.
Okay, the earlier
One.
correct.
Now they have said they have dropped.
Right.
But the fact remains is, now the jurisdiction will get extended to all these areas.
Right.
Okay, so basically it's very simple that this has to be privatized so that Sagarmala plans have been implemented. That's why the CRZ also has been downloaded. The latest amendment also comes now in dilution of oil, natural gas exploration and all these things.
Right.
So here the government has made it very clear that today the coast does not belong to the people anymore. They want to now make it into a highly economic sector. So they plan to sell the entire area. We have seen in Naushi how the port have sold it to this marina there.
Right.
They have leased the water area for almost 8 to 12 rupees.
Right.
And now the same will go to the rest of Goa.
Right.
Which means any fisherman or any tourism activities or any person who wants to use the water area or the land area will have to buy this area on lease.
आता जे इश्यूज आहात ते घेवपाक सोदिना कित्याक सांग तांकां खंय ना खंय तरी फ्रॉम बॅक सायड कितें तरी बेनिफीट जाता आसतलें म्हणून आनी व्हडलेशें रिजन कांय ना ताका आतां जे इश्यूज घेता ते सगळे आमचे एक्टिविस्ट घेता फॉर एक्झाम्पल 3 लिनियर प्रोजेक्ट मॉलॅम डिस्ट्रक्शन देन दीस एमपी हे सगळे इश्यूज एक्टिविस्टांनी घेतले खंयच्या पॉलिटिशियनान कोणें घेवंक ना ओके सो आयज गरज आहा एक्टिविजम एक डिफरंट लेवलाचेर पावोवपाची कित्याक सांग एक्टिविस्ट जे आहात न्हू ते गोंय वाचोवपाक शकता हे पॉलिटिशियन न्हू आमचे कित्याक पॉलिटिशियनाक जर वाचोवपाचें आसलेलें जाल्यार हेच्या पयलीं ते वाचयतले आसले आनी आयज जे इवन आतां सुप्रीम कोर्टाचें डिसिजन येयलां की तन्मार वायर लायन सुद्दां ते कटिंग ऑफ ट्रीज बीन आहा हे तेंच्यांनी सारके कमी हे करून धाडला. दॅट इज बिकॉज ऑफ एक्टिविस्ट बरे जे एक्टिविस्ट आसले जे झगडले कितें तेंचे खातीर हे सगळे.
International Workers' Day, also known as Labor Day, is celebrated on the 1st of May. It is a day to celebrate for laborers and the working classes. The date has been chosen by the American Federation of Labor to continue an earlier campaign for the 8-hour day in the United States, which had been the cause of a general strike beginning on the 1st of May 1886. May Day subsequently became an annual event. Ahead of Labor Day, trade unionists said that the labor in Goa is still fighting for its basic rights. They listed out 5 major problems plaguing the labor in Goa.
Union leaders said labor was paid a minimum wage of Rs 307 compared to Rs 700 in the open market. 90% of the farmer workers were on contract. Union leaders said that equal pay for equal work was not given. Facilities such as Provident Fund and ESI were not paid to workers. Labor leaders highlighted 5 major issues that plagued labor in Goa ahead of Labor Day. They said labor was paid a minimum wage of Rs 307 compared to Rs 700 in the open market. That 90% of the farmer workers were on contract. That equal pay for equal work was not given. That workers were not given public holidays or double wage, and that facilities such as Provident Fund and ESI were not paid to workers.
आज गोंयांत कमीत कमी पगार 307 रुपया आसा, जो इनफॉर्मल सेक्टर जे आसा तूं खंयच्या तिट्यार जर गेलो आसत जाल्यार आज तुका 700-800 सकल मानाय मेळना. पूण आज कंपन्यांनी काम करणारो कामगार जो आसा ताका मिनिमम वेजीस 307 रुपया मेळटा. टेम्पररी कॅज्युअल कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट हाजेरूच जवळ जवळ 80-60% कामगार काम करतात. हांव ह्या मे दिनाचे संगतीन सांगता की सरकारान हाजेर विचार करपाची गरज आसा. कित्याक फार्मासी कंपनी 10% कामगार जर परमनंट आसत जाल्यार 90% कामगार कॅज्युअल कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट डेली वेज आसता, जे परमनंट कामगार करतात तेजे पॅरलल काम करतात. सो आमी मागतात की तांकांय बी जर गव्हर्मेंटा कडेन तांकां रेग्युलर करपाची मानावळ नासत जाल्यार सुप्रीम कोर्टाच्या डिसिजना प्रमाणे इक्वल पे फॉर इक्वल वर्क हे लागू करपाक जाय. सुटयो ज्यो आसा त्यो प्रत्येक कामगारांक मेळपाक जाय. भर पगारी रजा मेळपाक जाय. ती पगारी रजा मेळना. 15 ऑगस्ट, 26 जानेवारी, 1 मे जे आमचे नॅशनल दीस आसात त्या दिसांनी जर कॅज्युअल कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट डेली बेज खंयच्याय कामगारान काम केलें आसत जाल्यार ताका डबल पगार मेळपाक जाय. ह्या फार्मांनी कितलेशे लोक काम करतात तांकां इवन मिनिमम वेजीस मेळना. सो ह्यो गजाली ज्यो आसा ह्यो सरकारान ताबडतोब हातीन घेवपाची गरज आसा. बाकीच्यो ज्यो सुविधा आसात प्रोविडंट फंड खुबश्या जाग्याचेर तो दिलो वचना. इवन ESIत खुबशे कामगार कवरेज केले वचनात. आतां प्रॉब्लेम आसा अनऑर्गनायज सेक्टरान जे कामगार आसात ज्या जाग्यार युनियनां ना थंय सरकार प्रोएक्टीव जावपाक जाय. लेबर डिपार्टमेंट प्रोएक्टीव जावपाक जाय. कित्याक तेंचे जर आलाशिरो जर आसात तो गव्हर्मेंट लेवलाचेर मुखार येवपाची गरज आसा.
Devendra Gankar for Herald TV.
Tourism Minister Rohan Kaunte, along with the Union Minister of State for Tourism, Shripad Naik, had a meeting with the Union Tourism Minister G. Kishan Reddy on attracting high-end tourists to Goa by developing infrastructure such as the oceanarium, golf courses, etc. For this, there would be a need for a consultant, Kaunte said.
Is Tourism Minister thinking of promoting Goa as high-end tourism destination? Kaunte talks of attracting high-end tourists to Goa by developing infrastructure. Kaunte also stressed the need to make Goa a safe destination.
Tourism मंत्र्याकडे उलयतकर the whole thing is if we need to change our base of what we are talking about and a roadmap, we need to ensure that we have the right people on board and the right thought process coming in. आम्ही इंडलँड म्हणलें, मेडिकल म्हणलें, एडवेंचर म्हणलें, lot of things we need to put across आणि ताच्या खातीर safe and clean Goa म्हणजे आमकां एक message दिवची पडटली who are coming to Goa as tourists are finding them safe and they're finding them clean. It is not only the question of beaches, it is the whole Goa which we need to look at. And ताच्या खातीर as we take things ahead, we need also to understand what the high quality tourists are coming down or what they would be coming down for what requirement. ते गोंया येतले जाल्यार कित्याक येवंक जाय आनी ताजे खातीर कसलो इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर तयार करपाक जाय हे हाजेर आमी भर दिवचो पडटलो. Whether oceanarium concept, whether golf course concept, whether different विचार भरपूर असतात which attract high quality tourists. They come here for adventure, but adventure जाल्यार safety standards दिवचे पडटा. So there are a couple of things which we need to work on. ताज्या खातीर एक बरो consultant maybe of global standards is required to come in and pitch and tell us what we need to think about carrying things ahead. आता हे समज विचार आयले जाल्यार आमकां सपोर्ट जाय पडटा. Financial support from the center, which we would need to carry this type of things ahead. So we have discussed in detail how we can, in terms of nautical tourism now, as what I have spoken earlier, how we can look at more avenues to attract high-end tourism. And the infrastructure support कितें जाय पडटलो, we have spelled it out. The Honorable Minister Tourism, along with Sripad Babu, have been very positive.
Story by Devendra Gaonkar for Herald TV.
17 passengers, including the driver and conductor, escaped with minor injuries after the bus they were travelling in met with an accident at Sirsai. Among them was a 1-year-old child. The bus was on its way to Valpoi from Panjim when the driver lost control of the vehicle and rammed into an electric pole. The injured passengers were shifted to the district hospital in Mapsa. In another accident involving a bus and a car, it took place on the Atal Setu bridge.
A bus traveling from Panjim to Valpoi was involved in an accident at Sirsai. The driver reportedly lost control of the vehicle and hit an electric pole. 17 passengers, including the driver and conductor, escaped with minor injuries. The injured passengers were shifted to the district hospital. Incidentally, a bus rammed into a car on the Atal Setu bridge on Saturday, details of which are awaited. Prakash Karekar and Shagun Gowde for Herald TV.
Farmers and villagers will perform Jal Andolan at Belpar by standing in the river on the 1st of May. They are demanding that the government stop the work of the pump house at the Belpar river bank, which will divert their water. The decision was taken after the concerned authorities, including the police, failed to stop the project work even after the Panchayat had issued a stop work notice.
Farmers and villagers of Bailpur have decided to hold a protest on May 1st. They are demanding that the government stop the work of pump house at Bailpur river bank. Water, which is the right of the villagers, is being diverted to corporate projects, they allege.
जो पंप हाऊस बसोवन आमचे शेताचे आणि अख्ख्या पेडण्याक जे प्लांटाद्वारे ते सप्लाय करता उदक, ते उदक आयज डायरेक्टली ते कॅनलात सोडटा. परत दुसरें म्हटल्यार ते बेकायदेशीर काम करता अशें हांव तेका म्हणटा. जर ते पंचायतीची तेणी एनओसी सुद्दां घेतलेली ना आहा, पंचायतीची एनओसी न आसतना तेंच्यांनी ते काम चालू केल्लें आहा. ते पंचायतीन तेजे स्टॉप ऑर्डर काडले तरी आसून ते बंद जावंक ना. तेका लागून आमी हे आंदोलन 1 मे 11 सकाळी स्टार्ट करतले. जल आंदोलन करतले, न्हय देवान आमी रावतले. अशा प्रकारे ते उग्र आंदोलन करतले आमी. आयज कित्याक अख्ख्या आमच्या गोंयकारांक कळोंक जाय की आयज मोपा एअरपोर्ट आहा, ह्या मोपा एअरपोर्टाक लागून हे काय गोष्टी घडत आहात. त्या गोष्टींक लागून आमकां हो फुडें भरपूरच त्रास जावपाचो आहा. आमचे जमनी तेंच्यांनी घालेले आहा. जमनी घेतले तेचेर आमकां व्यवस्थित रित्या आमकां तेंच्यांनी रेट पासून दिल्लो ना. दुसरें म्हटल्यार आमच्या झाडांची कत्तल केल्ली आहा.
ही सद्याक तर तांकां न्हू जे खुटवळ एरिया आसा पण ती बाकीची सगळी एरिया सराउंडिंग एरिया आसा तांकांच सध्या आतां पाणी पावना आणि तरी आसतना ते थंय डॅम बांदून आतां जे पाणी व्हरपाक जे फुडें जे व्हरपाक सोदतात ते कशा रितीन व्हरतात तेंच्यांनी अजून काय ते रिप्लाय काय दिनात पण तरी आसतना ते बाय फोर्स व्हरतात ते पाणी पण तशें जर पाणी व्हरतात जाल्यार सगळ्यांनी म्हाका दिसता जे सराउंडिंग एरिया कुटवळ म्हणा हळण तळण म्हणा किंवा कासारवणे म्हणा चांदेल म्हणा हे जे गांव आसात ते जवळ जवळ म्हाका दिसता आनीक 5-6 म्हयन्यांनी जे तेंच्यार इतली टंचाई येतली सद्याक तांकां टँकरांनी जे उदक सप्लाय करचें पडटा हे इतले डॅम आसतना इतलो लागीं अर्दो किलोमिटर सुद्दां जर हे पंप हावस ना तरी आसतना हे तांकां टँकर धाडटात जर टँकर धाडून सुद्दां जर पाणी अशें जर इतल्यान हें करता जाल्यार फुडल्या जी स म्हयन्या भितर ऑटोमॅटीक सगळ्या लोकांक कळटलें की हें खरोखरच हें उदीक सगळें नश्ट जावपाचें आसा इवन ते उदीक नश्ट जातलेच आमकां खंयचें उदीक ते हाडून आमकां सप्लाय करतले आनी आमकां त्रासान घालतले हे नक्कीच जाल्लें आसा तेंचें तेका लागून आमी मागता की आमी जे 1 तारीख जे थोडेशें आंदोलन करूंक सोदता आनी खरोखर ते न्हय देंवन आमी पळयतले जे कशें कितें उदक हें करता.
It's a matter of pride for Goa after the first Goan brother-sister duo, Katia and Dane Coelho, won the gold in the windsurfing championship. The championship is also one of 2 trials for the Asian Games. The last selection will be in Mumbai. The duo had been training rigorously for the upcoming championship and have demonstrated excellence in achieving gold medals. The sea appears to be their second home and spending long hours of hard training in their quest to be champion windsurfers.
Goan brother-sister duo Katia and Dwayne Coelho won the gold in the windsurfing championship. This is the second Asian Games trial and the last trial will be held in Mumbai. The duo has been training rigorously and achieved excellence by winning gold medals.
This was actually the second Asian Games trial that we had in Donapal, just concluded a few days ago, and I managed to win the championship, making me the national champion and also putting me ahead in the points for the Asian Games selection. So we have the last selection in Mumbai in a couple of weeks, and if everything goes right, I'll be selected to be the only Goan to have gone to the Asian Games for the second consecutive time.
So it feels really good after winning the nationals. The IQ foil class is the Olympic class for windsurfing now. We've changed from windsurfing to wind foiling, and I consider myself very lucky that I got to try this sport out, and it feels good to win. So the difference between windsurfing and wind foiling is basically the foil. It has a much bigger foil than the normal windsurfing boards just have a fin. So in this, you're not just gliding over the water, you're actually flying over the surface. Next in line, I have the nationals in Mumbai coming up, which is next week. So I will be traveling there, and after that is also the selection trials for the Asian Games, and I hope to get selected there.
And it was a great racing. Unfortunately, this was the selection trials for the Asian Games. We had 2. This was the third one, which Dane has been dominating with 9 points ahead. And he is the only civilian who is fighting against the 3 army yachting yacht. But the fight is between the 2. Is Dane and Ali. So the competition has been difficult for him because he have to fight once against the 3. No doubt they are the only 2 participants who are into the ranking events, and to prove who are the best of our country.
Freddy Fernandez for Herald TV.
A total of 109 olive ridley turtle hatchlings were released into the seawater in Morjim on Friday. 4,127 olive ridley turtle hatchlings have been released in the Arabian Sea at Morji Beach since December of 2021. In the month of April alone, 126 turtle hatchlings were released in the sea. The Morjim Beach is one of the protected sites for the olive ridley turtle.
109 olive ridley turtle hatchlings were released in the sea at Mochi on Friday. 4,127 olive ridley turtle hatchlings have been released in the sea at Mochi since December 2021. In the month of April, 126 turtle hatchlings were released in the sea. Sagun Gowde for Herald TV.
The height and width of the railway underpass near Tanya Hotel Vasco is likely to be increased. The 3-meter height and width of the railway underpass restrict the smooth movements of larger vehicles. An inspection was held on Saturday along with the railway authorities. They have requested 2 roads of 5 meters in width below the expanded tracks railway bridge.
The railway underpass near Tanya Hotel is around 3 meters. The current underpass presently restricts smooth movements of larger vehicles. 2 roads of 5-meter width will be constructed below the expanded tracks railway bridge.
जेन्ना तांचे कडेन रिक्वेस्ट केल्लो की हांगा हेडरूम आमचो वाडोवचो म्हूण तुमकां खबर आसा हांगा 3.2 आसा हांगा बसी बिसी लागता सो आमकां हो वाडोवन दिवचो कित्याक आमी लास्ट टायमूय सांगिल्लें तशें हांगा कितेंय कॅज्युअलिटी जाली कितेंय ट्रॅजेडी जाली जाल्यार एक व्हडली फायर ब्रिगेड पसून वचूंक शकना आनी सगळें हांगा जाम जाता सो तांणी तो आमचो डिमांड एक्सेप्ट केल्लो आनी तो हेडरूम ताणें वाडयता म्हूण सांगिल्लो 4 मिटर पर्यंत व्हरता म्हूण पूण जेन्ना आयज परते आमच्या लक्षांत आयलें की 3 मिटर आमी बेश्टे सहज इन्स्पेक्शनाक आयिल्ले तेन्ना जेन्ना 3 ट्रॅक जातले तेन्ना हो टनल अरावंड 22 मिटराचो टनल जातलो आनी 22 मिटराचो टनल जालो आनी मागीर तांणी 4 मिटराची 2 बॉक्सां म्हणजे तांचे डायमेन्शन्स आसतली जेन्ना तो हेडरूम वाडयता तेन्ना 4 मिटर बाय 4 मिटर वाडयली जाल्यार 4 मिटर ते हें करताले वीट दिताले सो एक गाडी वतली जाल्यार ती खंय तरी ब्लॉक जावपाची अडकून उरपाची म्हणून आमी तांकां सांगलें की तो हेडरूम तुमी वाडयता आसतना आमकां विड्थूय वाडयात म्हणून आज आमी दिलीप कामतचो एक ब्रीज बांदता तो एक्सपर्ट आसा ताकाय घेवन आयिल्ले आनी ताजोय म्हणणें अशें आसा की ते 4 मिटर वाडयले जाल्यार तुमी 2 बॉक्सां करतले जाल्यार ते एक टनल बरें दिसपाना तातूंत कितेंय केओस जावपाक शकता सो ती 5.5 मिटर विड्थ करची म्हणून म्हणजे वन वे 5.5 येवपाक 5.5 सो ताजेरूच आतां वर्कींग चालू आसा आमी तांच्या हाजे वयल्यान आमी CMI कडेन अपॉयंटमेंट घेतला आनी तांकां सांगपाक सोदतात की जेन्ना तुमी हो रेस करपाचेच आसा जाल्यार ती विड्थूय वाडोवन जी 4.5 मिटर आशिल्ली ती 5.5 मिटर आनी एक विड्थ वाडोवची जाणे करून फाल्यां अशी टनेलान भितर गेल्ले भशेन दिसपाना लोकांक त्रास जावपाना तशेंच आमी थंय शांतीनगर विठ्ठल रुक्माई टेंपला कडेन एक अंडरब्रीज प्रपोज केला सो ही 2-3 विशय घेवन आज परतें इन्स्पेक्शन करपाक हांगा आयिल्ले जशें जशें दीस वता तशें तशें लोकां खातीर बरें आमी कितें करूंक शकता ते सायटीर वतकूच कळटा सो आज त्या खातीर आमी सायट
Kiran Bodkar for Herald TV.
The mesmerizing voice of Lorna still captivates audiences. Lorna Cordero gave yet another scintillating performance at the Spirit of Goa Festival 2022 at Kampal in Panjim. The large crowd was treated to some fabulous Lorna and Chris Berry classics at the festival such as Tuzamog, Sorga Rajan, Sopon and other numbers. Listen to some of these Lorna classics.
Lorna Cordero gave yet another scintillating performance at the Spirit of Goa Festival 2022 at Kampal, Panjim. The large crowd was treated to some fabulous Lorna and Chris Perry classics at the festival. Lorna sang some classics at the festival such as Tuzo Mok, Sargarajan, Sopon and other numbers.
That's all we have in today's news bulletin. Thank you for watching Herald TV News. For more news alerts, please follow us on O Heraldo on Facebook and Twitter. Take care and goodbye.